Good day, everyone, and welcome to our final project or final examination requirement for the ITEP 414, also known as the of course name System Administration and Maintenance. And here in this presentation is I will demonstrate to you the COC3 and 4 of Computer Systems Servicing and C2 of TESDA. And this is presented by yours truly, Visalent Cristal. So for the quick introduction of this presentation is first point is COC3 establishes the network backbone by configuring the server to manage users and devices, meaning that you will encounter the installation of the roles followed by management of users since you will connect the client server to manage by the server the following users and devices and give them access to the system. Then, for the second point, COC4 focuses on sustaining this system through preventive maintenance, meaning this involves the maintenance of the computer system, backup and restore, and other preventive measures to keep the data of the computer secure and uh, easy to maintain and restore. Then, together these modules certify the ability to build secure networks and resolve technical faults. Meaning that doing this COC3 and 4 is you have the ability to build a secure or made a secure networks and manage the following files and folders, and you can back up it and resolve the different technical errors and faults. Then followed by that is we have the COC3. So COC3 is focused on set up user access, builds that domain function by installing Active Directory and management user accounts. Meaning that in the first that I will show you later is we have to install the ADDS or Active Directory users so that we can add multiple users in the system and assign the different group policy that you can manage the folder redirection and etc. Then, configure network services to place the essential roles to automate the connectivity and resource sharing. Meaning that you will install the DCP and other connectivity tools so that the client, you can connect to the client and manage the following activities like folder redirection, the following files that they are creating and the printing process. Then, perform testing validates the system by connecting clients to domain and verifying that all services. So, by the end of the CS3, we need to verify if the connection is successful and it connects and the following that we install or services that we install is applicable to the client side and also in the server side. So now, let's demonstrate first the COC3. So here, I will going to use a VMware Workstation Player Pro 16 to demonstrate the COC3. And to start with the COC3, let's open the VMware Workstation Player. So here, we successfully opened the VMware Workstation Player, and all we have to do first is we need to configure or install the server side. So let's create a virtual machine here. So as you can see, you will be directed to following new virtual machine wizard, and we will select. I will install the operating system later so that we can we don't have any error in the installation process. Since if we select the installer this manage file automatically, there's some test error that we need to reinstall it again. So click next, then choose the following get operating system and the version. So So for the version here of the Windows Server is I choose the Windows Server 2016 here. So click next. Then choose the file location that you will serve the following files. So click next. So here the minimum is 60 this size or the maximum. Then choose store virtual disk as a single file to optimize the process. So just click next. Then we need to customize the hardware part. So here in the hardware part, so we can set the following in the 4 gigabyte here. So you can set it here or you can simply type the following memory. So for the processors, we need to select 4 here. Then in the new CD or DVD SATA, you will add the file now. So the ISO file. So we need to browse here. So here's the ISO file for the Windows Server that we will utilize. So this is the Data Center Windows Server 2016. So just click here. Then in the network adapter, since we are in VMware, is we have to do is host only so that it can connect. So meaning that using host only, that when you configure or share your the DNS or your IP address of the server to the client, it will automatically connect or it can successfully connect. So we need to close it, then finish. So now, yes, we have the Windows Server 2016 number 2 here. So just click next and we need to do the booting process here. So in the booting process is we need to install it again. So just wait for the moment. And we directed to the installation process. So now is we need to do the following setup here. So we need to choose the language we are using with. So I choose the English part of the United States. Then click install now. So for the install now, just wait for the moment and you will be directed to the second part of the installation process that you will engaging with so that it can successfully connect. So here is the option. So we need to choose the Windows setup. So I choose the standard evaluation since it is the mostly used by the Windows Server or the server management in the industry. So just click next here. So wait for the moment. Then accept the license terms to continue. So now we need to custom here. So now in the part of this is we cannot delete here since it is new and also we are in the VMware. But in the physical devices, the first part we should do is to delete it all, then create a partition so that we can do a partition in the installation process. In the first part of the installation process so that you can proceed to the backend store that we will do in the COC4. So here is we cannot delete it since it is a new or an allocated space. But in the part of this, we can create a partition in the client side by in the disk management feature. So just click next. So just wait for the moment and you will install it here. So now, let's wait for the finishing up. But I will skip this process so that you can, we will be restarting to the restarting process of the operating system. So now, after the installation is done, we need to set up the password for the administrator since the common username for the server is the administrator. So for the password is we utilize the common password which is the CSS at 2025. So you can check it here. So then you will retype the password here. So after you re-enter the password, let's the set a finish. So it finalizing, then you need to control at delete so you can proceed to the login process. So we need to click here. Then in the administrator part is we need to type here the 2025. So you can check it again. So you can visually it. Then enter the password. So you successfully entered the following part. So as you can see, it is OpenD. By default is you will open the server manager. So just wait for the moment to see the server manager here. So as you can see, in the server manager part is we have the following dashboard, local, all service and file storage. So as you can see, it has red in here. Since there are following services in here that should be online or available only at online, and we only use this VMware. That's why it has in also this is red and this is red also. And the same thing with the other in the other parts of the in the installation of Windows Server 2016. That's why there are many errors since it requires the file resources should be online. So now let's do the installation of the ADDS or the Active Directory. So we need to add tools. So you can check it here as you can see. But by the way, we need to change the display settings so that you can visually see the following the large screen. So just apply. So keep changes, then close. Then go back to the server manager. As you can see, you can see everything. So now let's add the roles in here. So just click next. So role based or feature based installation. Then click next again. Then as you can see, there are lots of Active Directory, but we need to choose the ADDS or the Active Directory domain. Active Directory domain services. So once there is a modal in here, so just add features here so we can activate or install the ADDS or the Active Directory domain services. So just click next here. Just click next. Then this is the Active Directory description. What is its purpose? Then click next. Then install. Then we need to restart it again so that the following changes is applied. So wait for the installation of the ADDS. Then if the installation is done, you can close it again. Then once done, you need to minimize it. Then you can see this flag. This is the notification part, and you need to promote this server domain controller so that we can activate the ADDS. So as you can see, it has a forest local name. So here is the deployment configuration. We need to just to add new forest since it will be utilized in the connection of the client to the server. So just type the COBOL, which is a css.local, or you can type the css.conf. So just click next. Just wait for the moment since it targeting the server. Then by the way, you can activate the restart bot, the restart function, or the restart in the part of when you are installing the process. Or simply, you can manually restart it. Since we need to restart it so that the following changes are being applied, and since if you did not restart your server or your operating system, that the following changes will not be applied. That's why we need to restart it. So we need to wait for a moment to set the password for this forest. So for this forest password is we need to type here. So CSS at local 2025. Then we need to confirm the password here. So as you can see, we use the same password so that we can remember it again. Since once you have not remember your password or your password is being you did not remember it, you need to do following configuration that it's hard or time consuming. So this is the config password. Just click next. Then create a DNS allegations. So here is we need to create DNS allegation. Then click next. So we can set up the net BIOS name. So just wait for the moment. So for the net BIOS name, it is we will be utilized also in the connection of the core management of user. So as you can see, it generate a net BIOS domain which is a CSS. So just click next, and it automatically add the additional option for the net BIOS. You just click next and configure the essential configurations. So just click next here. Then as you can see, just click next again. Then you can see the results. And you need to wait for a moment so that we can proceed to do the other steps. Since this is a frequency check and it automatically reboots the system. See, as you can see in the warning here. Like if you click install, the server automatically reboots, which is a good thing since we will not do the manual part of the rebooting process. So sometimes it is so long depending on the configuration of the setup or the network hardware that you are configured with. For example, in the physical process, that is sometimes it is takes too long since the following hardware is not up to date, or sometimes the system unit is in the general base type. So as you can see, just click install here. So it's starting to install, and just wait for the moment. So ignore this warning since there are sometimes that so you need to ignore this warning and wait for the installation process. So just wait for the moment, and it's starting to install. And later on, we need to set up the IPv4 setup since it uses the automatically static or DNS part. Since we need this static part so that we can control the following IP that is assigned in here and the DNS that we'll be utilizing. So it installed the following configuration such as the tools such as the Active Directory tools, users and computers, like the policy management, and then let's wait for the moment. And it's completing the installation process since the following installing here is essential in the Active Directory or use management of users and computers. So configuring the DNS service on this computer. And as you can see, the computer is being restarted because the Active Directory. So we need to close it, close. Then we need to restart it. So just wait for the moment and stopping the services and restarting again. So it's start. So we need to skip this process so that we can go to the installation part. So it applied computer settings and we need to skip and we will skip this again so that we can proceed to next step. So now after the installation of ADDS and restarting process, so we need to do again the control at delete so we can unlock it again. So just click here. Then type the administrator. So as you can see, this is the NetBIOS that we configured earlier. It accompanied by the name of the administrator since administrator is part of the NetBIOS of it. So just type the password. So you can check it again. Then wait for a moment and the server manager is automatically shown up. So just ignore these two. Then as you can see, the ADDS is in green one, meaning it's successful. It is successfully installed. So now is we need to do something here. So we need to type the network and sharing center here. So we need to configure the IP addresses and the DNS server. So as you can see, so here in the properties, so you need to open the network sharing center, then choose the connection which is the Ethernet. Then in the Ethernet is we need to click the properties. Then in the properties, you will be directed to Ethernet 0 networking properties. Then choose the RTB4 here. So as you can see, the option is obtain an IP automatically, but we will utilize the static one so we can control it. So we need to type the 192.168.1 then 0.2. Then in the subnet mask, it automatically connects. But here in the default gateway is you can optionally add it here. But for the demonstration process is we can do it again. So as you can see, you can add a default gateway. But here in the demonstration process of CLC3, you can add it. You can optionally add it. So as you can see, and in the below part, there is a use the DNS server addresses. So it automatically connects the preferred DNS in here, which is the 127.127.0.0.1, which is a good thing since it is automatically configured. So just click OK in here. Then you can check it here. So you can see it again if it's automatically correct. So just click OK, then close. Then followed by that is we have to do something. So we need to close it again. So you can minimize it. Then, sorry. Then you can go to the control panel. Control panel. Since we need to turn off the firewall in here. So just click the firewall and Windows Server firewall. Then as you can see, we should turn off in this since sometimes the connection of the client server is automatically blocked by the firewall. So in this setup, we need to turn off the firewall. So we need to just click turn off firewall and turn off this three. So once it is done, just click OK, and as you can see, it automatically close the or turn off the firewall. So we need to minimize it again. Then again, the next thing is we need to add the DHCP. So the DHCP is we need to utilize it for the connection and add the scope for the on the following computers that we will add to the IP on the connection that will connect to the server. So let's go back to the server manager in here. Then click the manage. So as you can see, we need to add rows again. So just proceed to next, 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 then next again. Then followed by that is we have to do is to select the DHCP server here. So once you click the DHCP server, we'll ask again another thing to add the feature so that we can include it here and completely install the DHCP. Then followed by that is we have to click continue. Then we need to proceed to next. Next again. Then click the restart here. Yes. Then we need to install in here. So wait for the installation of DHCP so that we can continually do it. So now, once it is done installing, you need to do in here, there is a notification that we will show in here that we need to commit the following to commit the server name. So we need to close it since the feature installation is succeeded. Then, as you can see in the warning sign, we need to complete the DHCP configuration. So, use the following user credentials here, then commit, then close. Then once it is done, you can see this is the DHCP, ADDS, and the DNS in here. Now, let's go to the tools in here so that we can configure the scope of or the range of the following IPs that will connect to this server. So we need to click the DHCP in here. Then we need to full screen or full mode in here. Then as you can see, this is our server name and together with the forest domain name. So we need to expand in here. Then select the IPv4. Then right click to add a new scope. So just click next in here so we can add a new scope. So the purpose of the scope is we need to set a range of the IP that we will connect. For example, there are 10 PCs that we connect to there are 10 client PCs that will connect to the server OS. Then we need to set only 10 and ignore the others. For example, just click next, then type the scope name, which is the CSS. Just click next in here. Then we need to add an IP address range. So we can start with 192 0.168.1.20. Then we need to end it by 100 since, for example, we have 80 pieces that we will connect to our client pieces that we connect to this server. So 0.1.100. So just click next in here. Next again. Next again. Yes. Next again. Then we need to check it here, the parent domain or the host domain in here. This is the IP that we utilize in our server. Then click next. Then click next. Yes. Finish. So as you can see in the properties in here. Sorry. So we need to see the properties in here. And as you can see, the range of the starting IP is the 1.20 and 1.100. So meaning that the client should be the range of these following IP addresses. Now just click OK in here. Then we need to open the file manager in here. Then we need to do a local disk in here. Then we need to add some folder for folder redirection. So here is we will demonstrate to you the folder redirection part on how to configure it. So we need to name it redirection in here. Then as you can see, it has no, this is the path that the following user folders I will be saved and can be configured. So in here, we need to do something so we can add properties in here. Then so once we click the properties, just click sharing part in here. Then we need to do the advanced sharing. So let's check the share this folder. Okay, permissions. This, as you can see, the group username is everyone, meaning that everyone that is connected or such that all users that the administrator, the server has been configured or added is automatically has the permission. So we need to full control. Then we need to add the administrator, since administrator should be also the one who manage the following files. So just click the built-in ones is the we utilize in here. So we need to click the built-in one, just click OK. Then for the permission, we need to add full control and don't forget to apply these changes. So once it is applied, as you can see, we need to click OK and then apply. So as you can see, the following is applied now. Then click OK, then close. And we need to copy this redirection network path so that we can utilize it so that the following users of the system or the client IP or users is automatically connects to the system. So now we need to do something. So we need to add a user. So let's go back to the server manager. So we need to click the tools again, then select Active Directory so we can add the users. So as you can see, it has the following built-in domains in here. Then we need to add or add the organizational unit in here. So click organizational unit. So for example, for the redirection is the name of the organizational unit. Then just click OK in here. Then after the folder redirection, we need to add a user in here. So just click new user. So for example, my name is Vince Allen, so I just type Allen. Then the user login is Allen again. So as you can see, is our user first name, and this is the name that we will utilize in our username. Then again, we need to set up the password. So we need to check these two part, the second and third checkbox so that the user cannot change the password and password never expires. So we will use the same password in here. Then we need to click next. So just finish. Then as you can see, it is Allen. As you can see the properties in here, it is successfully connected. Now, next thing to do is we need to manage the GPO or the group policy management. So in the group policy management, as you can see, just click the domains, ccss.locals, then select the folder redirection. Then after you selecting the folder redirection, we need to right click this so that we can add a GPO. So we need to add a GPO on here, folder redirection. Then as you can see, the folder redirection is here. Then we need to enforce it. Yes. Just click OK. And we need to, after enforcing it, we need to right click it here. We need to edit it here. So as you can see, once we right click the name of the folder redirection, we need to add policies. So just click the Windows settings. Then we need to select the folder redirection in here. And we need to set properties in here. So right click here. Then properties. So we need to do same thing. So we need to configure it. So for the properties, we need to select the basic targeting. Then as you can see, we need to copy the root path earlier in here that we should configure in here the root path. Then we need to Control V it. So as you can see, it will be directed to this folder once it is done. So we need to apply. Yes. And same thing with the documents so that we can have two options. Properties. Here. Basic configuration. Add it here. You can add multiple in here so that you can see it apply again. Yes. Okay. Then as you can see, it's successfully applied. Now, is we need to do something in here. So we need to open again the new virtual machine in here so that we can open the installed one Windows Server client. So here we need to open the client side in here. So I utilize Windows 10 in here, the Time 64. So I partially configured it so that we can utilize it again. So just wait for the moment in here. And as you can see, we are logging into the part of the Windows client, which is the Windows 10. So just type the password in here. So I utilize the password. Same with others in here. So and as you can see, is we have the following configurations. Now is first thing first is we need to configure we need to have the following in here. So in the control panel, make sure the the firewall is automatically is is turned off. So as you can see, our firewall is automatically turned off. So you can turn off this by same team process. You can turn off in it by clicking the turn off in here in the left side. Then turn off the following two. Then then again is we need to set up the IP in here. So we need to visit the network sharing center in the control panel again. So just click network sharing and click the Ethernet. In here, we need to do the following properties. So just click the IPv4 in here. Then by default, it is obtain the IP addresses, but in here, I partially configured it and we need to change it again so that it will match to the scope and range of the of our we need it match to the scope and range of the following IPs that we configured in the server part. So this is the preferred DNS since it is the IP of the following. So just click OK, OK, then close. So for the testing part is if you want to test the connectivity here, we need to pin in our CMD. So as you can see, we need to see the IP config if successfully matches. So as you can see, so in the default gateway, it's optional to add since it is a connection between the client and the server. Then we need to pin the 192, the IP address of the DNS in here or the IP address of the server. So 168.1.2. So as you can see, it received or is successfully connected. So now, is we need to do in here is we need to do something. So we need to go to the this PC, then we need to properties. So in the properties, we will be directed as the system settings in here. Now, we need to choose the rename this PC. So we need to rename this PC in advance so that we can change the work group. So as you can see, it is in the work group, but we need to join it to the server. So we need to the domain. So remember the false domain that we created earlier, which is a css.local, so that we can hit join to the server. Okay. So type the account that we utilize in our server, which is the administrator. Then okay. So we need to close it and we will start the installation process. So we need to close it. So let's start now. So after that it start now and it will apply the following changes in the client side. So that we need to restart it so that the following changes is applied on the server side. So please wait since it successfully obtaining the following part. So as you can see, we need to successfully restart, then we need to collect other users. So we need to type the users that we added earlier, which is Allen, since this is the username. Then we need to add something, the password. You can check it again if successfully connect. Then welcome to Allen. So just wait for the moment since it successfully joins the server. So this is the process of the joining the server, and as you can see, we are getting ready to start. So wait for the moment, and this might take several minutes to configure in this. So since we are using VMware, sometimes it is not too slow since we set up this client PC in 8 processors with 8 GB of memory. That's why sometimes it is so fast. Then it is almost there. And as you can see, in here is in our network connection is it is connected to the CSS local.2. So as you can see, it successfully connect to the CSS local in here. So mean of 2 in here is I tested it earlier in other virtual machine. That's why there's same local. There is two and they have the same local name. But then again, the important is it has successfully connection. So here you can demonstrate the folder redirection in here. So we can add a new folder in here. So we need to type Allen in here. Then we need to go back to the server side. So as you can see, we need to close it again, close in here so that we can partially see and avoid any distractions. Close in here. Close. So as you can see, this the folder redirection part, Allen. We need the desktop in here. So to access the folder redirection, so we need the to access this again, the folder redirection part in the local disk drive. Since it is the storage of the part, then we need to do the stop. So as you can see, we need to continue. So we need to have permission. So advance in here. So we need to share in here, or we have to have the full control in here. So we need to change in here. Then type the administrator part so that we can access the folder. So check names. So as you can see, then choose the built-in again. Then click OK, then apply. Okay. Then okay. Then we can see the folder redirection. See, it is successfully connected. Then we need to add a text document in here in our client side. For example, Allen, again, Allen Crystal. Then we go back to the server side, and you can see it is added to Allen Crystal. Then again, we need to do the part of it so that we can type a something password. So my name, since I am able to write in this folder, since in our permission area we have the full control. So with anti-crystal. Then save it. Then as we go back to the server side, is we can fully see that we can add it here. So the admin can change it here. So with Allen, then save. Then as you can see, in here is successfully connected. Then again, once you delete it will delete also in the part of the server. See, it successfully deleted. So now let's go to the printing services part of the COC3. So we can print or we can track the printing process of the following files in the server. So in the printing part, so this is the firmware, so we can there's no physical devices, but we can do the printing sharing services. So let's go to this server manager here. Let- Let's open here. Then we need to add rows and features again. Okay. Then click next, next, next. Then click the print and document services. So we need to add the features in here. Then click next, next, next. Select the print server here. Then restart if needed. Then install. So wait for the few moments. So the process of here is we can add the following printer and server here so that we can share it to or connect into the client side. Since by default the following printers in this Windows server is only the Microsoft PDF and the Fox, which is part of it. So it is successfully installed here. Then we need to go to the print management. So we need to full screen here. And as you can see, we need to see the servers. Then we need to click the print. So here in the print, we can add the printer in here. So just click the add new printer. Select the LPT printer port in here. Then install a new driver. Then select whatever the printer you want. Then click next. Yes. We need to share it here. Office printer. Then we need to change also this. Okay, sorry. Then click next again. Yes. Finish. So as you can see, this is the office printer. Now let's go back to the office printer in here. So now let's go back to the client PC. So here in the client PC is we need to connect first the added printer and the newly added printer in here. So we can do it by running the by clicking the Windows icon and type run. Since as we gathered in here, there's no network in here. So we need to just type in here in run, then right click or simply window key R, then run, then type the IP addresses together with the back with these slashes. Then click OK. Then as you can see, this is the office printer that we utilize. So just simply connect in here. Just click connect in here, connect. Then we need to add something in here. So we need to add folder or text. So we need to name it Crystal in here. Then as you can see, we need to add something in here with Allen. Then as you once save, we can print it now. So just click the printer in here that we gonna create here. Then again, as you can see, as we go back to the server, then we need the open printer queue. As you can see, Allen Crystal is the Crystal Notepad is Allen, which is Allen's the owner is printed in here. See, this is the name of the printer in here, and you can directly connect it here. This is the file name, and as you can see, the logs of the print is successfully shown in the client side, in the server side, sorry. And once done, after you configuring it, so you can demonstrate, or you can go back to the part of the work group in here, since this is part of the maintenance process. Since it is part, we need to do a work group in here so that we can revert it back and connect to the other to the other server. Like if we want to connect the email server and other again, so we need to go back in here, since the error of that going back to the work group is if the server is being compromised or deleted, you cannot access it. So we need to go to this PC again in here, then right click, properties. So we need to rename this PC in advance. Then type the password of the server. Yes. Then we need to change it to work group. So for the work group is typically all caps work group. This is the default for the work group. Then okay. Yes. Just wait for a moment. Okay. Let's start it now. And wait for a moment so that we can go back to the work group part of the system. So wait for a moment, then it successfully apply, and we are go back to the part of the work group. And that is for COC3. So now, next thing I will show you is the COC4. So here in the COC4, the competencies is maintain computer systems, ensure stability and data safety by performing maintenance and backup. Since we need to perform maintenance and backup in our system so that we can manage our all files and data in the computer. Then, diagnose computer faults identifies hardware and software errors. Really that we should diagnose the errors so that we can fix it earlier. Then, rectify and test system fixes that detected issues through repair and verifies functionality. Really, by diagnosing the system, we can test or fix the problems and do the backup and restore in our system. So now, I will demonstrate to you the COC4, which is a maintain, backup, and restore. So here in the system is we have to do something. So the first point is, or the first part we should do is the create and restore. So just like we're create and restore in here in the search bar. So I have typed it here. Then we need to create a restore endpoint. So here we should enable the production on the available drivers in here. So it has the two drive, which is the C and E drive. Then we need to configure it here and make sure it is turned on system demonstration with system protection. Since by enabling system protection, you can undo this undesired changes by reverting your computer to previous owner. So you can change it also in here, that's in the backup drive. So we can disable it and turn on. But in the CLC4 or the maintain and backup, we should turn on this. And we need to apply in here. So just click apply and OK. Then we need to create a system restore point like restore. So you can add it here as many as you want. So just create a system protection in here. So we need to restore point that have system protection. So it's successfully created. Then as you can see, we need to do system restore. So next is after creating it, we need the system restore in here. So we need to undo system restore like this. So we need to choose different starting point in here. Then we need to choose in here. Then we need to finish it up. Then once it start, it will prepare to restore your system. So this is the restarting part and it applying the following changes. And we'll skip this process. We'll skip this restarting process so that we can proceed to the next step of the COC4. So now is we need to do the second part of the COC4, which is the registry part. So here in the registry part is we have the part down here is we need to type the run again. Then we need to do the reg edit. So we need to back up in here so that the following registry is already backed up. So now you can demonstrate in here the registry edit. So as you can see, it has the following current user, local machines, current config, and others. Then we need to export in here. So just click the export in here. Then select the destination you want. So I choose the desktop. Then the file name is registry. So next is we need to save it here. Then as you can see, it loading is successfully saved. Then wait for a moment. Then we will demonstrate the import in here so that we can import the following registry files in here. So just click the import in here. Then just click the registry in here. So now let's go to the next part of the CLC4, which is the important part, which is the backup and restore. So where there is a backup and restore in the file in here, you can edit it here so that you can see it here. Then you need to refresh in here. Then create a folder in here. Then type my name. Then this is my folder containing the file. You can add text document in here. So for example, new text document. Then this is the one that we will do a system with file restoration. So let's go to the window, to control panel, then search for the backup and restore Windows 7. So we need to back out this file in here. This file in here so that we can do the backup and restore. So now in backup and restore, let's change the settings in here. So we need to choose the available backup in here since we create already a partition in here. But in creating partition, I will show you now in creating our partition. So let's click the window icon again, the right click, then this management. If your driver has a no partition yet, you can see You can see your own drive in here. Then you need create a partition in here by clicking the shrink volume. Then by shrinking your volume, you can do an editing in here. So you can configure it here and you can partition here in half so that the other one will be used in our backup. So as you can see, this is our backup part and you can merge it here if you want to go back to the partition. So in this management is you can create a partition in your drive. Then again is we have the following in here. So just close this management. Then let's go back to the backup restore Windows 7. So as you can see, we need to change it here. Reset is so you can see the following drive. So I choose the backup drive since I choose it in here so that I can use it in our backup. So just click next. Then let me choose since if you choose the let Windows choose recommended, it is time consuming. But here you can choose as a user, you can choose the backup you want to restore. So let's select the program that we utilize in here. As you can see, let's search our client in here. So let's go to Allen in here. Then as you can see, it review the summary and save and exit. Then perform the backup now by clicking the backup now button in here. So as you can see, it back in progress. But there are sometimes that the backup is too time consuming is depending on the hardware setup or in your that you utilize. But here I use VMware having being a high processor so that it has a fast performing in backup and restore. So now to test the backup and restore, we need to delete this folder in here. Then click it here. Then restore my files. So as you can see, we need to browse folders. So in our browse folders, so we need to select desktop, then select Allen. Then as you can see, this is our deleted folder earlier. Then we need to click next. Then in the original location, let's restore it. So finish. So as you can see, Allen is being added in here. So now, let's go to the file manager again. So this is the last part for the COC4 that we utilize. So in the COC4 is we have this PC. Then we need to do the fragmentation and deleting of some temporary files. So just click the properties in here. As you can see, you can do a disk cleanup in here. So clean up the system files. You can do it directly in here so that we can optimize the process. So just click OK. Then cancel. Then cancel. Then you can do a error checking here so that you can see the following error in the system. If there is an error, you can figure it out on what's the error of the driver. So your drive was successfully scanned and no errors were found. So just close it and you can optimize and defragment the drive to optimize the computer to help it run more efficiently. So now we need to just optimize in here. So also the E drive we need to optimize. So here we need to optimize. So just click it here since we don't have a solid state drive. So the constant is not optimization not available. But in the physical hardware or in our desktop is if there is a solid state drive and the system will optimize it. And that's all. Thank you so much for listening.